This is a compliance hearing following an order to participate. I showed our last hearing on December 20th. I had a note that Ms. Morris was going to enter into a TFF case after the first of the year, and then this case would be dismissed. Is that what we're doing? Or?
No, I can explain, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay.
What ended up happening was there wasn't an expected TFF opening, never materialized. And so the department worked with mom and came up with a service plan that would work. And so she elected to sign an agreed OTP after all.
Okay.
That's the reason for the mix-up.
Okay, that explains it. So, okay, everybody's in. Nobody's in the waiting room. Mr. Graff, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're here on a compliance hearing. I have Ms. Cano, and if you would like, we can have her give an update. And at the end, we'll just request an additional compliance hearing at 45 to 60 days out to potentially wrap up.
Okay, all right. I've read the report. Sounds like mother's scheduled appointments and all. There was a couple of things I read that she had scheduled for, I guess, an appointment with a psychiatrist for February 25th and then a mental health evaluation on February 27th. Did those things take place?
Yes, she has completed both of those.
Okay. All right. You're breaking up a little bit. I think I heard you. And then I read that she said that Caroline's wearing her insulin pump. And then I guess y'all talked to Caroline. She said she's doing better, feels safe at home. She's working on trying to get her grades up. And she's seeing Dr. V. And he had done some changes to her meds. So that's what I know. Anything else you need to report to us that's going on?
No, sir.
Okay, so everything's going fine as far as what mother's doing and what Caroline's doing.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ms. Stevens, did you have any questions?
Just a couple. What
Okay.
does she have left to do?
She has individual counseling left.
Okay. And she did a mental health evaluation at her own expense, correct?
That's correct.
And y'all got counseling set up this week. And on Wednesday, she did her first counseling session through Rolling Plains, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And they recommended that she didn't need continued counseling at this time, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. But you're saying she still has to do counseling?
Yeah, it's still recommended by the department that she does complete counseling.
Even though the counselor is saying she doesn't need it?
Correct.
Well, I don't see how that happens. I mean, we'd have to find a new counselor if the counselor says she doesn't need counseling.
Yeah, I'll leave that decision up to you, Judge.
Okay.
Or alternatively, we just trust the
one.
counselor.
That's probably pretty easy I hope that's my hardest decision all day long. So,
well, and like I said, we could just trust the counselor since she did have her mental health evaluation. She has done her counseling and they said she doesn't need any further.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I can't order. I'm not going to order her to a counselor that says she doesn't need a counselor. So,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Ms. Stevens, any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Barfield.
Thank you, Judge. I don't have any questions for Ms. Briancano, quite frankly. At this particular time, I would like to ask Ms. Morris a couple of questions, but that's not who the witness is right now.
Okay. All right. We can get to her here in just a minute. So,
yes, sir.
Does anybody have any other questions for Briancano?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ms. Cano, are there any additional outstanding services for the daughter that the department wishes to continue to evaluate, and that's the reason why you're asking for the case to remain open at this time?
No, I just wanted to ensure that Christian had all the resources that she needed, and that she's able to cope with the stress or anything, like just to be able to manage every situation that may come up with Caroline. So that's why we did recommend that she did continue counseling.
I see. But at this point in time, all of those supports are in place, and she's managing Carolyn's
Yes,
needs.
that's correct. That's correct. She's
Okay.
setting up all the doctor's appointments, dentist, vision, and she's making sure that she has attended every appointment.
Are there any outstanding
Mhm.
appointments remaining that you're aware of, or is she up to date on all of those appointments?
Yes, she is currently up to date.
Okay, thank you. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody else have questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Graff, any other witnesses?
No, sir.
Ms. Stevens, witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Barfield, witnesses?
I just call Ms. Morris. I have a few questions.
Okay, Ms. Morris, if you'd raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barfield.
Yes, Ms. Morris, one of the things that I wanted to ask you was in the medication, I know there was some issues there for a while about the Cymbalta and getting that kind of regulated. What's the status of that, just for my edification?
I don't remember the exact date, but I contacted Dr. V to see if I could get her in, and he was out. So I sent a message on the portal. He got right back to me, told me
Okay.
to stop the Strattera.
Okay.
She was just sleeping a lot again, so we stopped that immediately. Then we went back to see him on the 19th, and he started her on a new medication for ADHD, and he left her Cymbalta the same, which
Okay.
it's not uncommon when they come out of the pavilion to be on a low dose and just slowly go up. So that's what he's done.
Okay. So Dr. V is actively working to regulate the medication. Have you noticed a change since the medication has been altered?
Oh, definitely. And this time, we made the appointment, I believe it was 3 weeks out, so that we can check in with him again on this new medication because it's new to her, but it's also fairly new on the market. So he wants to monitor her closely.
Okay. Now, in regards to her grades, how are her grades doing? Because I noticed there was some failing grades and then there was a little bit of progress. Could you give us a status update as to how she's doing in school?
I can. It's a struggle. I think some of it is the ADHD. So we're trying to get that under control. We did have an ARD meeting on Wednesday of this week. So she's goal oriented, she's forward thinking, she's planning for next year. I think she realizes that the future matters, her education matters. So she's agreed to really buckle down and kind of double up and try to make up for the struggle this year.
And following up with that, are you receiving the help that you need to try to assist in her getting the help she needs to at least make passing grades at this point? Do you feel that you can handle that? That where she's going to school is helping? Is kind of assure me that this grade, because you're right, the grades are a big deal to me. Maybe because I'm a lawyer.
Well, I taught high school for 6 years, so it's a big deal to me, and I do stress the importance of that. And we've worked on time management and trying to stay focused. And this week, she's texted me and said, I choose peace, because she's had some drama with a girl at school, and she's asking to leave, like she stays in there for the lesson, but then she asked to leave to go somewhere to work quietly where she's not distracted. So I feel like she's advocating better for herself,
Yeah.
which is important because I can't be with her all the time.
Sure. Sure. Okay. All right. Your Honor, I think those were the two main things that I had some concerns about was just the medication mainly, because grades are grades. You can make them if you buckle down. So that's all the questions I have of this witness.
All right, Ms. Stevens, did you have questions?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Graff, do you have anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Morris, I'll just ask, is there anything that the department or St. Francis or this court can do to help you? Or are you ready to just have this case dismissed and proceed how you've been proceeding?
Yeah, I have dealt with medical stuff for 16 years with her, and I feel like I've got it. Like I'm doing the very best I can, and I'm not gonna miss her appointments because I do love her and want the best for her.
Okay.
And I feel like that is Dr. V, and we both really like the counselor she's seeing. So I'm gonna keep her in that as long as as needed.
Okay. And that's, you don't need, the department's not paying for anything on that. I guess it's through, is it through Medicare?
No, I've
Medicaid, I
paid
mean,
for all of
you
it.
do? Okay. Well, I just want to be sure if there's anything else we can do to help you, now would be the time to tell us. And if not, you understand you can always reach out and ask for help in the future.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So dismiss the case is what you want me to do?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
All right then. Mr. Barfield, anything to add?
No, Your Honor. As a matter of fact, I think that it would be a good recommendation today. I think this is a success.
Yeah. Ms. Morris, just let Caroline know the same thing. If y'all need help in the future, just come back. We'll be here.
Okay, thank you.
We've got we have no shortage of work, so we'll always be around. So all right, then, based on what I've heard today and the reports I've read, I do find it's in the best interest of Caroline that we go ahead and just dismiss this case at this time. Obviously, there'll be no future hearings set since the case is being dismissed. I'm sure Ms. Morris, you'll be happy not to have to see me again. So, all right,
Nothing personal.
that will conclude this hearing. In the interest of the Rogers child, we're here on a status hearing.
Ms. Slagle, if the court would prefer to just have an update, or we can put on brief testimony.
I have read the report, but I'll go ahead and swear you in. Do you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Mr. Graff?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Slagle, just going to ask a couple of quick questions. Has a service plan been created for these folks?
Yes, it has.
And was that made in collaboration with them?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and did you review it with the parents, and did they sign the service plan?
Yes, they have.
Okay, and you filed it with the court?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you just go over quickly, what are the services identified that the family is agreeing to work?
Okay, on Alexis, it is to do a psychological evaluation and to follow any recommended services for that. Also, individual counseling, to actively participate and complete parenting classes, for Braden and Alexis to attend couples counseling. Also, for Alexis to sign a release form, a release of information from any doctors that she has been to that has diagnosed her with her seizures and provided her with medication. That way, we can continue that and help with that with her, and to be able to keep a sanitary home clean and healthy for Braden. I mean, for Dean. And then on Braden Rogers, individual counseling, actively participate in parenting classes, complete an OZAR assessment, do random drug screening, complete a psychological evaluation and any recommended services from that. Also to attend couples counseling with Alexis, to sign a release of information for any specialists or therapies that diagnosed him with autism, so we can help continue that for him if he needs any more therapies, and to keep a safe and healthy sanitary home for Braden. And of course, be able to have legal income, housing, and transportation, and a relapse prevention plan if needed. And that is for both of them.
Okay. And are those services narrowly tailored to address the issues identified in this case?
Yes.
And how so?
It will give them the parenting tools that they need to be able to parent Braden properly. It'll help them learn how to keep a safe and healthy environment for Braden. A psychological evaluation will help if there's any any other kind of therapies that they might need to help them, both of them and Dean as he grows, and to help them have legal and stable home and income.
Okay. And are you asking that these services be made part of the court orders in this case at this time?
Yes.
Okay. And is it still contrary to the welfare for Braden to return home today?
Yes.
Where is he currently placed and how is he doing in that placement?
He's currently placed in Lubbock and he's doing very good in that home. He does have an appointment on April 2nd to have a sonogram to check. They think he might have hip dysplasia. But other than that, he's doing great. He's already sleeping through the night. He's eating good. He's in daycare, which he's doing really good there. He does great in visitation, so he's doing really good.
Are there any relatives or fictive kin placements available or who have been identified at this point in time?
No, we've discussed it with both parents a couple of times, and we haven't been able to identify any relatives that could take him.
Okay. And what is the current visitation?
They get visitation on Mondays in person for 1 hour with Dean, and St. Francis helps facilitate the transportation for the parents.
Okay. Is that something you're willing to expand once the parents move forward with their service plan?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And the child's medical consenter is who?
Paul and I'm so sorry, it just slipped my mind. Paul Doyle. I'm not sure how to say that last name. Callahan.
Okay. So Mr. Doyle and his partner.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And have reasonable efforts been made to either return the child home or to find a relative kinship placement for Braden?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Are you asking for that the department continue to be to have temporary managing conservatorship of the child for the time being?
Yes, sir.
And why is that?
So it'll give Braden and Alexis time to continue to work on the home, to get some of those parenting skills in, and to get a regular routine on being able to keep the house clean, decide what they're going to do with their animals, which are not necessarily saying that they have to get rid of them, but to get them vaccinated and make a plan of, being able to go in and out of the home, to go to the restroom, things like that. And they are working on those things. They have been working on cleaning, and so they do have a parent support worker that goes out to see them weekly, and she's helping with those things. Also to get Alexis on medication for her seizures, so we can get that under control. And then if Braden needs any more therapies for his autism, so I think it'll give them time to get all of that in order and get a good routine for Dean.
Okay. And I know there were some concerns on the part of the parents at the outset, and it made things perhaps a little bit combative. But since that time, since the DMC order was entered, the parents have been cooperative and collaborative with you.
Yes, they have. Yes, we've had many discussions. They've let us in the home. They've let us have tours of the home. Braden has been very respectful and understanding, and has been listening to us and taking advice. So he's been doing really well.
Okay. Thank you. And so at this time, it's in Braden's best interest, though, to maintain the status quo and for the parents to move forward with services.
That is correct.
Any additional services or additional orders, that is, that you're requesting at this time?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Graff, I think you meant it was in Dean's best interest. You said Braden's best interest.
Did I? If I
Yeah.
did, I meant
Yeah.
that, Your Honor. Yes, I got that, and and Dean's names confused. I apologize.
That's all right. I just want to be sure we're clear. So,
So,
okay, Ms. Stevens, questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, just briefly. And I know you've already said that that Braden signed a service plan. Was there one particular issue that he had some difficulty with and discussed with you?
I think it was the Ozar with the marijuana use or the THC that was in his that he had failed his drug screen for. Is that the one that you're pertaining to?
Yes. Did he identify with you for you some physical problems that he has?
Yeah, he did let me know that he has some pain issue and some back issues. And I did take pictures of the stuff that he buys and uses, which I'm not a professional or an expert on knowing anything about that stuff. So I will have to send that information to someone else um, to be able to further give me information on that. I know he said he does buy that from local stores, Allsups, I think Headhunters was another place. But like I said, I'm not a professional on that stuff. The bottle says 39% to 34% THCA, which I'm not for sure what that is. So I am going to send that along to somebody else that could, better give me information on that.
Did he also identify autism as one of his problems?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Other than that, he's been cooperative.
Yes, he has started to be cooperative. I think he understands that we're here to help him and that we want to see them have a good future and help. And he has been cooperative for the last few weeks.
Thank you. That's the way to show.
All right. Ms. Slagle, as long as Mr. Rogers tells the OSAR people during his evaluation of what he's using and why and shows it to him, then that's part of why we do an OSAR, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. Yes.
Okay.
I'm not a professional on that, so I will send that information
Right.
along.
Okay. Ms. Mullinax, questions?
Yes, sir. Michelle, one of the big reasons for the removal was the state of the home. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And does the department or St. Francis have the ability to provide resources to help them clean up that home?
Yes, and actually, the parent support worker is working on helping get a list of some stuff that they need, a list of stuff that needs to be done, and help them make some goals on. I think it's overwhelming for them, so she's gonna help them make some goals on working on certain areas. And getting that done and moving along. They have did a lot of work. You can absolutely tell from the first time I was in the home until the next month I was in the home. So they have been working on it, but we are working on getting some resources and some help and making some goals with them to help them get into a routine of that and to help them get the home clean.
And so if there's something that maybe hasn't been provided and they think of it, can they request help from St. Francis for those issues?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And we're trying to help with those resources before it becomes a problem also. That way they have that in hand to be able to work on those things.
And you mentioned that Dean has an appointment. You said April 2nd. I think it might be April 4th, but to do the testing for the hip dysplasia.
Yes. He's got an ultrasound scheduled for that.
And that's, as far as we're all aware, that's nothing that the parents have done to cause that, right? It was something to do with his birth.
Yeah, I think it was to do with his birth. Yes. Yeah. I don't think there was anything. Mom didn't have any prenatal care when she was pregnant with him, but I mean, I don't think she physically did anything wrong. I mean, he's healthy. He was born healthy besides that. So, and they really aren't for sure if it is or not. So
I'd pass the witness.
All right. Anyone else have further questions for Ms. Slagle?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Graff, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, state rests and
Thank you. Ms. Stevens, witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, I would like to call my client, Braden Rogers, briefly.
All right, Mr. Rogers, if you'd raise your right hand, please. You swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Braden, you heard Ms. Slagle's testimony, and is there anything with it is there anything about it that you disagree with other than we will address the drug issue specifically?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, with regard to the drug issue, you are using legally purchased CBD products, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I think you've identified that helps you able to sleep and with some pain issues in your back. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you use that around the child?
No, sir.
I believe you identified to me that you only use that in the evenings when Alexis is there to take care of Dean, and often when Dean's already asleep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you shown Ms. Slagle the labels, the packaging that the CBD comes in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you heard what was said about you being sure to take that with you if you drug test or if you have the OSAR appointment so that they can identify that and account for it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have anything you want to add to any of that?
No, sir.
Thank you. I'll pass witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Graff, did you have questions?
Just a brief follow-up, Your Honor. Mr. Rogers, you understand that an OSAR assessment will not necessarily recommend drug treatment, correct?
I did not until now.
Okay. You don't recall having a discussion about that at the recent family team meeting?
We more than likely did. I just didn't more than likely understand at the time.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Stevens?
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Mullinax?
No questions.
All right. Mr. Taylor, do you have any other witnesses?
No, I do not. I rest.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mullinax, recommendations?
Your Honor, I believe the placement is safe and appropriate. I believe that Dean is getting the medical treatment, possible medical treatment that he should be getting. I know that parents are having visits. I believe those visits are going well, and I think those should continue. And I think everything has gone well so far with Dean at this point.
Okay, all right, thank you. Ms. Rowland or Ms. Huckabee, does CASA have anything to add?
I'll let Ms. Huckabee. Kelly?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we agree that Dean needs to stay in the current placement while the parents work their service plan. He's doing really well. And so just continue the TMC with St. Francis.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes,
Your Honor, if I may interrupt, I did fail to mention one thing. 1 hour a week is not a lot for these parents for visitation. And Mr. Rogers specifically had wanted me to ask that be increased. Because it's a long time before we get to that initial review hearing.
yeah, no, I don't have a problem as long as St. Francis can accommodate that. They have limited resources as far as the people who supervise the visitation. But if it's possible, I take it that the parents are going to Lubbock rather than Dean being brought to Amarillo for the visitations, correct? Anybody?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. I don't have a problem with increasing it to 2 hours weekly. They're making the drive. We might as well take advantage of the time, and it is a young child, and that's important that we continue that bonding. So,
Okay.
if St. Francis, I always preface it by saying if St. Francis can do it, I don't want to start just saying, okay, we're going to have this many hours a week and you guys can't accommodate it. That doesn't help anybody. So, okay, then I will continue the department as temporary manager conservator, continue Dean's current placement. I'll order the services for each parent as contained in their service plans, and I will order that they have an additional 1 hour for a total of 2 hour weekly visits in person. If St. Francis can accommodate that. All right, Mr. Rogers and Miss Rogers, I show you as Miss Rogers here. Can you both hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have to admonish you today that the services that you've agreed to work in your service plan, they become a court order today. At a final hearing, if you haven't worked those services, your parental rights could be altered or terminated. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's just, I have to say that. I don't have any reason to believe you won't work your services, but it's something by law I have to state after any of the status hearings like today, so. Okay, our next hearing will be an initial permanency hearing. That's to just basically see how Dean's doing and how the parents are progressing on their services. That will be on August 1st, 2025. It will be by Zoom, just like today's hearings, so parties and attorneys can, the parties can either contact their attorney or go on the court's online docket a day or two before August 1st so that you'll know exactly what time of day we'll have that hearing. So, all right then, that will conclude this hearing. We'll stand in recess. I'll be back at 10 o'clock to call a Deaf Smith County case. That is a motion hearing on the Cisneros child. So I don't think any of y'all are involved. So we will stand in recess. Everybody have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Deaf Smith County case, cause number DR 2024J-142. This is in the interest of Quentin Cisneros. We're here on a number of motion hearings. Mr. Graff is with us for the department. Ms. Gomez is with us representing the child. Mr. Pirtle's with us representing the mother, Ms. Balderas. Mr. Pirtle, is she with you? She's not in the waiting room. You're muted.
Sorry, Judge. She's not with me. I'm not sure if she's going to show up or not.
Okay. And Ms. Hutton is with us representing the father, Mr. Cisneros, and I assume that's him there with you. Is that correct, Ms. Hutton?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. We've got CASA in this case, and I can't remember. We don't do enough of the Deaf Smith County cases. I have Carla Ramirez, Monica Olivas, Haiti Herrera, and Shay Cairns in the waiting room. I know who Shay is.
Shay's my caseworker, Your Honor, and I think Ms. Olivas is the CASA. I'm not
CASA?
sure about the other
Okay.
folks.
All right.
Haiti is also with CASA.
Okay, that only leaves Carla Ramirez. All right. What I have is
Judge, Carla is our advocate volunteer
oh, okay.
with CASA.
Then
Yes, sir.
that's everybody. Let's get everybody in. All right. I've got I think basically two motions. One filed on behalf of Mr. Cisneros by Ms. Hutton. That is first amended objection to the child custody evaluation and motion to reevaluation and motion of modification of plan. That's pending. I've read it. You're gonna have to walk me through it because a lot of it I'm not sure I understood. And then I do have a motion to modify Mr. Cisneros' family plan of service. Mr. Pirtle, I'll tell you, I've read the motion. I did not read the attached. I guess they're pages from a journal of hers or not. I didn't even read it because it's obviously not admissible. And I don't know how we're going to deal with that when she's not present. So I'll just let you know, we'll table that motion for right now. So is there anything else? That's the only two motions I've been provided with.
No, Your Honor. It's Tempe Hutton. May it please the court. And just so you know, I've got COVID, and so we're trying to be hard. And we filed a motion for termination, and we filed. We've let the court know that there has been a circulated order, Your Honor, together with some other documents. Everyone has signed off on that order. We just need to prove it up, except apparently Mr. Pirtle's client has not been available to him so that there can be any kind of response by him or her. And so the departments, Mr. Graff, Shay, I think has everybody, the ad litem,
Okay. What are we talking about? An agreed order on what?
termination of parental rights for Mr. Cisneros.
All right, I was looking at this. I read it. I wanted to be sure it wasn't just a misprint. You're basically, has he signed a relinquishment affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a waiver of interest of the child and affidavit for voluntary relinquishment of parental rights, and we will get those filed immediately with the order that everybody has already signed, save and accept, if the court would accept the order and sign it today.
I
After
can't.
that point,
Excuse me. Let's take these one at a time. I can't sign I can't sign a termination order on him today if that affidavit of relinquishment has not been filed. So if it's not filed yet, that's premature.
okay.
I don't have a problem if everybody signs off agreeing to it. Once it's on file, then we don't have to have another hearing. I can sign it based on that, but not until that actual affidavit is on file.
So how long does that have to be on file? I mean, if I can file at this moment, can we, do you need to prove up anything, Your Honor?
Oh, it's typically, I think like 3 days, but if no one objects, that's fine. We could take a short break and see if we
Okay.
can get it filed.
Yeah, hey, I think it's being filed. Staff, have you got it filed? Can you please, those documents,
Yes,
the filing, please, or they are filed?
I've got them ready to go, just waiting for approval.
Oh,
All three?
these two affidavits.
Okay.
The order's not signed.
Right.
And then once you do that, send the proposed order.
Okay, while we're waiting on that,
Okay.
Ms. Hutton, since he's going to relinquish, I guess that makes your other motion moot. We don't need to hear it.
Yes, Your Honor, and that's why we were trying to get those expedited today, and I came in even though I've got COVID. Because that takes him and me out of the year.
Okay.
And the costs of going forward, you're only going to be dealing with one parent.
Okay. All right. We can let's just take about a 10-15 minute break.
Can we make it?
Let me just ask, is anybody going to object to going ahead if we get that on file today, does anybody want more time before we go ahead and act on it?
No objection.
Okay. All right. Why don't we take Miss Hutton, I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off, but I can hear you when if you get that back filed, just let us know and then I'll reconvene this hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. Miss Canada tells me that the two documents have been e-filed, but we don't know when the clerk might get around to accepting them. So what I want to do, I'll go ahead and we'll take whatever little bit of testimony we need, and then I just don't present me with the order until we know that they're actually on file. So there's no reason for us to sit around and wait. I won't sign the order till I know it's on file. So, all right, Ms. Hutton, did you want to offer your client to prove that up or what?
Yes, Your Honor, I sure would.
Okay, all right. Mr. Cisneros, if you would raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, if you would get closer to the microphone, we can barely hear you.
I have to talk.
You don't want to get too close to her, but I understand that, so.
No, sit down. Talk loud.
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Hutton.
You realize that you are the name son. Your son's name is Quentin Andrew Cisneros.
Yes, I do.
And Desiree Valdez is the mother.
Yes.
And after beginning this process, you have decided to execute an affidavit for a voluntary relinquishment of parental rights.
Yes.
And you've made several conscious decisions, and do you believe it's in the child's best interest that the judge enter the order that you have yourself executed And it's your understanding that the departments and the attorney, Mr. Graff, is also executed.
Yes, I do.
And you're asking the judge to execute the order that states that your rights are terminated, you will not be responsible for any further expenses going forward, and that you or the child do not have any Indian blood.
Yes, I do.
And you're asking the court to execute an order today terminating your rights, and that you don't have to prepare any kind of a medical history or report. You're done today.
Yes, I do understand.
Pass the witness.
All right. Mr. Cisneros, did anybody pressure you in any shape, form, or fashion to sign this relinquishment affidavit?
No, sir.
Okay. You realize once this, once the order's signed and you are terminated, that's a final order, and very limited circumstances could you ever try to set that aside. You understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, and you still want to go, you want me to go forward today? Well, not today, but as soon as that's on file, you want me to go ahead and sign that order that terminates your parental rights as to Quentin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pirtle, any questions?
No questions.
Ms. Gomez?
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Graff?
No questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Ms. Hutton, did you have anything else?
No, rest of close, Your Honor. Thank you for your time today.
Hope you get feeling better.
Thank you.
All right. Does anyone else have witnesses for today's hearing? No? Okay. Let me ask, Ms. Gomez, your recommendation as to whether or not I should accept the relinquishment affidavit and terminate Mr. Cisneros?
I believe you should accept it, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And Casa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, then, based on the evidence I've heard, as well as the affidavit of relinquishment that Mr. Cisneros has stated he has signed, and then we know has at least been e-filed. Once that is actually accepted and filed by the clerk, then I will sign an order that terminates Mr. Cisneros' rights as to Quentin Andrew Cisneros. I do find that it's in the best interest of Quentin Andrew Cisneros that once that affidavit is on file, that it is in Quentin's best interest that I terminate the rights of Terry Andrew Cisneros.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
No, not yet. I've got to put something else on the record. Mr. Cisneros, just so you know, I'm terminating you based solely on that affidavit of relinquishment and no other grounds that may have been alleged against you. So it's based solely on your affidavit, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, then I will just, since we're here, I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator and continue Quentin's current placement. Our next hearing was already scheduled, but that will be the initial permanency hearing on April 16th, 2025. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of April 16th to find out what time we'll have that hearing. I don't know that Mr. Pirtle is involved. I've got, my next hearing is the Randall County initial permanency hearing on the Guzman children at 1:30. I'm going to go ahead and end our Zoom meeting today. I will start it again shortly before 1:30 this afternoon. So, all right.
And Judge, Ms. Hutton, I need to let her know, they also filed the order of termination for your signature with the clerk. So I let Ashley, her paralegal, know that they need to cancel that and send it directly to Brittany.
Okay. Sounds good.
So I just wanted her to know for sure.
All right. And let's not, don't send it to my office until we know that that relinquishment affidavit is actually filed. So, all right. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good weekend. We'll be in recess till 1:30.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.